Hey guys, this is Sean and I'm here today to talk to you about a question a lot of people have asked us to talk about, which is why am I getting relationship anxiety and how is it affecting me in my life today? So that question is a very, very big question, and a lot of people have asked us to talk more about relationship anxiety and relationship OCD because we help people who suffer with retroactive jealousy. But relationship anxiety is really the blanket that covers all of relationship issues. People experience anxiety as a result of a problem in the relationship, and sometimes it's a problem that you're creating in your own mind, and sometimes it's a problem that your partner's creating because they've been suffering in their own life. So relationship anxiety covers the full spectrum: ROCD, RJ, relationship anxiety. Why am I getting it? Why am I experiencing this? So a lot of people suffer from attachment issues that they had in their childhood. So things that they will have experienced in their childhood that affected them, that really, really caused them a lot of pain. And they have now carried that through their adolescence, in their relationships, and now their adult life in a relationship where seemingly everything's fine. There's someone that they love and care about, that they want to settle down with, or even they may have already settled down with them, and they're experiencing heavy, heavy relationship anxiety, ROCD, or something like that. Now, an attachment issue, if, for instance, your parents left you or one of your parents left you, you'd be feeling like you're not good enough, right? You'd be feeling like my parents didn't love me enough to stay, right? Or if your parents gave you up for adoption, my parents didn't love me enough to keep me and to look after me, right? That is a very, very strong belief that would happen if one of your parents left you, or your parents gave you away, gave you up for adoption. So a lot of people really struggle with that, and it's a belief you'll carry through into every single relationship going forward. We've had people on our course that are up to the age of about 70 years old who've suffered with this heavily. The next one is if your parents argue a lot. If your parents argued a lot and it was volatile and you never really witnessed them resolving conflict and showing each other love, compassion, and affection. Maybe they shut down, they went quiet, they were very, very distant with each other, and in fact they were even distant with you. So the household would feel like there was an elephant in the room, and you would either hide a lot away from the arguments, or if you went to your parents and begged them to stop and they didn't stop arguing, you would think to yourself, if my parents really, really loved me, if they cared enough about me and my siblings, they wouldn't be doing this sort of stuff. And it's a belief that will be ingrained in you from a young age going into your adult life as well. The next thing is if they were neglecting you, right? If your parents had multiple children, you may have been 5 in a family, or if there were just 2 of you and your sibling was younger, more dependent, or they were ill. We've had clients on our course who had a sibling that was ill, and the attention that they experienced growing up went away, that left, and the focus went on the child that was more dependent, and that really caused a lot of issues in their upbringing and in their adult life as well. Another one is if your parents gave you love conditionally, so the attention, the praise, the feeling of safety and security, the feeling of being good enough was only really given to you when you were performing well at school or on the field. We've had clients who their parents were pushing them to be a top sports person, and that was really, really difficult. It got to the point where they hated the sport that they were performing. They wanted nothing to do with it. And in fact, they were very, very angry with their parents because they felt pushed into doing something that only their parents wanted to do. It wasn't something they wanted to do themselves, right? And academically, we've had some clients who've experienced going back home and saying, I got 90% in my exam, and the parents saying, well, what did everyone else get in the class? Well, someone else got 90% and someone else got 89%. And the answer to that was, well, what's the big deal? And that would leave a child feeling that their best was never, ever good enough. So these things are really some of the main things that you need to look out for. What happened in your life when you were a kid growing up? How did it affect you, and how is it maybe affecting you now? A lot of people will struggle with attachment issues as a result of these things, and they'll experience maybe one of 2 different attachment styles, okay? The first one being anxious attachment. So if you're anxious attached, you crave intimacy and you need constant reassurance, right? So you really, really crave intimacy. You demand that of your partner, and it's starting to get difficult for your partner to really prove to you that they really want to stick around. Now, if you suffer from avoidant attachment style, this means that you maybe fear intimacy and you tend to push others away when they get closer. And what tends to happen is a lot of people who are anxious attached will actually attract someone who is avoidant in their relationship, right? They will attract or be attracted to someone that's avoidant. And it's a kind of a subconscious thing. My parents were avoidant. My parents didn't give me the love and attention that I wanted. I'm going to attract someone who is like that so I can right the wrong, so I can fix what was wrong in my life previously. And in trying to get the love and attention from someone who is avoidant, subconsciously you're proving to yourself that you are good enough. But what happens is this is a bit of a clash. The person who is avoidant will push you away because you come across too clingy, and the person who is avoidant will really struggle and not be there on an emotional level and think that you're just being too difficult if you're on the anxious side. In any spectrum, in any scope, you will experience anxiety as a result of these two extremes, and there might be a bit of a crossover. You might be somewhere in between. You will feel anxiety in your relationship. You'll feel anxiety in the way you're attaching to your partner or detaching from your partner because things just feel too much. You don't feel good enough, or you don't feel like you are safe and secure or can be. You think your partner might leave you and you just want to pull away and you don't want to engage. And a lot of people shut down and don't talk about issues because they just don't want to rock the boat. So you need to understand this, that your partner is your mirror, and when you get close to someone, your insecurities and vulnerabilities will be heightened and they will come out more. It's like putting a spotlight on your face. It's like putting a spotlight on your face, and someone like with a magnifying glass is looking at your skin and looking at every single nook and cranny. It feels a bit uncomfortable if someone did that without really, first discussing or telling you that they are a skin specialist or a dermatologist. This happens in the home, right? Someone is analyzing your behavior, analyzing what's wrong with what you're saying or what you're doing, and it makes you feel really, really uncomfortable. So that is why it's important to go to someone, like I said, like a skin specialist. You'd go to someone who helps with relationships, who helps to discuss issues that you're experiencing, because now you're able to talk about what you're thinking and what you're feeling in an open way to unlock these issues and let them go. And you can invite your partner in on that and get them on board to help you guys both communicate better. It is possible to overcome this. It's possible to have an avoidant attachment style and have an anxious attachment style, and both of you move to a more secure attachment style where you both know and feel and trust and love each other and trust yourself as well, no matter what happens. It is an uncomfortable place to begin with. You do feel anxiety. You do feel like you're questioning the relationship. People who experience OCD as a result of that will really be looking at the relationship and wondering if this person is compatible with me, right? They've shown me this type of behavior, but this is the value sets and the belief set that I want, but I love them and I care about them. Am I with the right person? And it becomes a difficult place. You really start to doubt yourself and question if you want to be in the relationship, and you're about to pull the plug and leave because it's getting too much. But it doesn't have to come to that. It's possible to overcome anything that you're experiencing in your relationship if you put in the work, if you put in the time to communicate with each other. And like I said, you wouldn't want someone to put a magnifying glass and a huge spotlight on your face and check out your face without first introducing themselves as a skin specialist. And you wouldn't want your partner doing that unless you ask them to, right? This will leave you feeling anxious and uncomfortable. So notice that is happening indirectly in your relationship all the time. And until you start to really discuss things clearly with each other, tell each other, look, I love and care about you, go and talk to a specialist about your relationship issues, I will be on board to help you through as well, and I'll talk about whatever relationship issues I'm experiencing. And you guys can come to a place where you understand each other better and the relationship becomes a lot stronger as a result. It really begins with you, how you're thinking and how you're feeling. Where did the issues stem from? How are they affecting you today? And then you can move into a place where you feel confident, empowered, and calm. Much calmer in your life, in your own experience, in your own head, and in your relationship. Guys, I hope that answered the question there for you. If you have any questions, please let us know. And yeah, leave some comments if you've got anything to add or any questions at all that we'd be happy to answer. See you in the next video. Take care.